Hello, everybody. We
Hello.
had technical difficulties again. It happens apparently every week. Happy Tuesday. Welcome in. Thank you all for joining us. If you don't know, my name is Kat. I am the Nurse Flipper. I am joined by my co-host, Rod, picking and punching. Below me, I'm super happy to have Miss Amanda on from Tuition Ain't Cheap. And we've got Miss Jeannie, Matchbox. How do you say the name of your shop?
Ikigai
Vintage Shop. Yeah. I didn't know how to say it.
Okay.
Last week. I totally butchered it. So super excited to have these ladies on. It is both of their first time with us. And I am did you tell them I'm making them big so they can introduce themselves?
No, but
okay, well, you put the big screen just to say hello, let them know what you do, where they can find you, and if you want, if you have anything coming up, like live podcast or sales or anything like that, tell them that too. So here, Amanda, you know what's really weird? On Backstage, it shows you right.
Does it really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it does.
It does. All right, here's Amanda. Maybe it'll all of a sudden start working.
Maybe. Okay, hello, my name is Amanda. I go by Tuition Ain't Cheap. I've been selling on eBay since 2002. I sell on Etsy, Poshmark, Mercari. I make social media content. I am on all the platforms. You can find me on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I also do have a podcast. I don't have a set schedule for it, but I do have a podcast coming out on Friday of this week and then another YouTube video on Thursday.
Perfect. Here's Miss Jeannie.
Hi, everyone. I go by Matchbox Mabel on eBay, and I sell everything on eBay, including vintage clothes and some design fashion. And on Depop, which I've just joined recently, and Etsy, I go by Ikigai Vintage Shop. And I'm also on Instagram as Ikigai Vintage. And on those platforms, I just sell vintage fashion and designer fashion. So I also buy a lot of clothes that I restore myself, which takes some time, but I span all the decades from the early 20th century to Y2K.
Perfect.
I live in Australia.
Your background looks like a virtual one, but that's your real room, isn't it?
Yeah, this is my lounge room I'm sitting in, and you can see into my dining room.
I was messing around with the green screens before we I was putting myself all kinds of weird places. I might have to get creative with that though before next week now that I know it's there. So let's see what's going on. Rod started the questions for me. Dalton came out here just real quick because I'm sure he will eventually make his way back out here. He likes shipping live sales with me when we do jewelry because we number it and he can pull the number of envelopes for me. And he came out, said, "You're not shipping," got mad and left. I said, okay. So that is his new favorite thing to do is ship. And then he got mad because I wouldn't let him with eBay because he doesn't know how to do that stuff. And he's like, "Are you shipping what I don't know?" I'm like, "No, I'm doing videos." And he took off. So I'm sure he will make his way back out here once he's over being mad at me. Pod Rosie said, "Have any of you noticed being doubled for shipping labels after something is shipped? And do you also know if your buyer is registered in another country that you pay international fees?"
So I actually had one of my followers mention that lately she's noticed that she's being charged for her labels after the fact. She's been selling for a long time and she knows her weight is on. I've never had it happen to me, but she's like the third person that's mentioned that to me this week. And then I do know about the international fee, and sometimes even if you ship in the US, if your buyer's registered internationally, you still pay that fee. And the only way you can tell, you can't tell on your phone before you take an offer, but you can tell on a computer. That's what I was told by eBay, because I had something like that happen recently.
So for me, because I live in Australia, I have my eBay account linked to my Australia Post business account. And on that platform, I get discounts for depending on how many packages I send. So the only time I ever get charged extra for postage is when I've miscalculated the dimensions or the weight of a package. In terms of international fees, I have noticed that recently there's been a lot of issues with sending packages to the EU. Can you guys hear an echo there?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Okay. Technical issues again. But I've had a couple of packages returned recently from the EU. Not my fault, but somehow the VAT has changed over there, and there's some new kind of system. And I had one client who got a dress, went to the post office to collect it, and they told her she had to pay tax on it, and she would have had to pay $1,200 to actually get the dress. She saw the dress, she said, "It's gorgeous. I still want it. I'm sending it. They're sending it back to you." But she said, "I'm trying to figure out what's going on here." So I don't know. There's something going on in Europe at the moment with postage.
So I haven't seen any double charges for shipping labels, but one thing I would say keep in mind is if you ship through the postal service, when you pay for your label through eBay, you'll get charged at that moment. But if you're shipping through like UPS, what's going to happen is you go to purchase the label, you actually don't get charged for the label. It's once it gets scanned by the UPS, that's when they actually bill your account. So keep that in mind. So a lot of people get confused, think they're getting charged twice, but they're actually not getting charged twice. So if you're shipping through
this is
UPS,
really weird.
FedEx,
It's like interference. It's not an echo.
hold on, let me see. Let me hear for a second.
I don't know what is going on.
Can you guys hear it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
I don't know what it's doing.
Hold on. You guys talk. Let me hear it. Can you guys hear it?
Okay, can you hear me now? Yeah.
You guys hear it still?
Testing.
That sounds better.
I hear it.
That was, I muted you, Kat.
No, I heard it. Mute me again.
Hold on. All right. There we go.
I can still hear it.
I can still hear it. Maybe it's me. Hold on. Is it me? You guys talk. See, let me know if you hear it.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on. Let's mute.
All right. Can you guys talk? Can you guys hear it now? I don't hear
Amanda.
I muted Amanda.
Oh, I muted Jeannie, so we don't know which one it is.
Okay.
I unmuted Jeannie.
Amanda's
okay,
still
Jeannie,
muted.
Talk.
Okay.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, you're good. Amanda's coming.
It's me?
Yeah, it's you. You might want to try logging off and coming back on or something, and I'll add you back in.
It's being wonky with you. Just hit the.
Right.
Do you have headphones?
Not near me. How about now? I unplugged like my actual mic.
That's
better.
It was your mic.
Oh, it's gone.
Okay.
It was your mic.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay.
It's so weird. You look like perfect backstage. Like it's got you exactly perfect. I don't know. Well, we fixed the echo or whatever it was. Yeah, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I only know that because I love Mary Poppins.
Sorry, guys. We technical difficulties, like we told you.
So, I have not noticed the double shipping labels. Where are you noticing? Like, are you noticing it in like your eBay ledger? I guess that's where we would pick it up. That's hard when you're shipping over 100 items a week. Like I don't know that I would notice that, to be honest. I knew about the international fees. I think, Rod, didn't we find out about that on here like a year or two ago? It was a while. They started charging the international buyer fees. I didn't know that even if they were in the States and registered in another country, we would get charged. That's kind of crappy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I need to look, but again, I don't know. Like if I saw a label fee, I don't know how I would know unless it was like not in the morning, if it was timed. Marsha's saying Casey, Rockstar Flipper, just did a video about people getting charged twice for the same label. Oh, I think all of my eBay emails go to spam because I delete them so much. I don't think I even get them anymore. So it's probably in my messages I think it's really funny. Watch, I'm going to look. I think I have like hundreds of messages unread. Let's see. I'm going to tell you.
I know I do too. I have a lot of unread messages.
I have I have this so big because I was doing screen share. Now I can't find how many messages I have. I don't know. I see it and then now I don't see it. I don't know. Anyways, I think it's hundreds of unread messages. I just click when it makes it red and says unread message from eBay member. That's when I click on it and read it. All right. Wendy wants to know, do you remember the first time you felt like you had really leveled up on your reseller journey, and what was it that you had done?
I would say, so I was a below rated seller for a little while in 2021. After COVID, Michigan had a long stay at home order. My husband's business was shut down for 4 months, so I was selling really faithfully. His business opened back up, and I wasn't shipping stuff, became a below rated seller. And then once that was lifted off of my account, I like tripled my sales after that. Kind of took it serious. So it kind of took eBay punishing me for me to realize like how much I like selling on eBay and how I could really turn it into a lucrative business. So kind of after that was lifted, that is when I took it serious.
Well, I've been selling on eBay since 2022, and I really noticed my sales. They were up and down, and I was fairly consistent with posting, but it's really only recently that I have sort of taken it to the next level by being diligent about offering discounts to people when they like something. So I'm just constantly going through, and I used to just always take an amount off. Now I just do a percentage, and I find that works so much better.
So for me, I started my eBay business for like 50 or $100, when I first started out. And I actually started eBay when I was in high school, and I started that, and I was just buying stuff, just kind of, for my own collection. But then over time, like I used it to get beer money in college. I used it to be able to go out and do things, but it wasn't until I bought my first big collection is when I really felt I leveled up my business, because that one purchase, it was like, I think I paid like $2,600 or something like this. And I bought all these Lego sets. I got like 13 boxes of comic books. I got I got a ton of stuff, and I ended up selling everything for like $20,000 or $30,000. Okay, between 20 and 30,000, because I got comic books graded and stuff. That it was that point in time I really felt like I leveled up my business, because for the longest time I was nickels and dimes make dollars, and now I was able to start getting a little bankroll going. And then once I got that bankroll, I was able to reinvest that to buy more private collections and do that. So it was a snowball effect. That was one. And then also too, really early in my career on eBay, I would just sell nothing but like bobbleheads, or just sell video games, or I was really niching down in just one category only. And I found myself going to a lot of yard sales and wasting a lot of time at flea markets, because I was looking just for one specific thing. It wasn't until I started branching out into selling, vintage clothing, branching out to electronics, branching out to other categories, when I started learning and realized how much money I was leaving behind. Because I would go out yard sale, maybe spend 2-3 hours yard selling and buy two things. Then when I started going out, branching out, and be able to, branch out to new and learn more stuff about each category, I would go to yard sales and then realize like how much money I was leaving on the table every single time I was going out to these yard sales, that I was walking past all these profits because I just didn't educate myself. So knowledge is power. So I started to really double down and literally watch 40, 50 hours of YouTube each week, what people are selling, flipper videos, picker videos, and just educate myself as much as possible.
Yeah, I want to say, and you guys will think I'm crazy, but like I don't know about like the first time, because it's been so gradual, like it's a slow process. I agree with Rod though, like the big buys, like when I bought a U-Haul full of designer boxes, I think I paid $3,500 for them. And we made well over 30,000 in profit off of them so far. I still have some. But I agree with him. Being able to make the big buys and having the bankroll to go from like small individual ones to bigger lots. But I feel like you should be constantly leveling up. And the first thing I thought of was like today, right before we started, I made my what sold video, and probably 70% of them sold in under a week. And I was like, I'm sourcing better. I'm doing better at buying. My linens are still, I love my vintage linens. I will continue to buy them, even though they take a year or two to sell. I don't care. But the majority of the sales, like I had one that was in 2 seconds. You'll have to wait and see. I left a lot of money on the table. That was my fault. I did honor it and ship it though. And I had like 3 or 4 that sold in a day or two that I was very comfortable with, like my comping and the pricing. They were just, you know, nice in demand items. So I think for me, that's the big thing, is for me, I know the stuff, but I know what I like the linens. I know they might take a year or two, and I don't have like the self-control to leave them if I love them. I have the self-control to leave the stuff I don't love if it's not a good sell-through rate. But if I love it, I don't know if I ever will. And I don't know that I have to, you know, because I get them for $1 or less. I have the space to do it. I thought about doing a video this week about that, about like different business models and how to figure out like what you want to do, because different things work for different people. And like, I'm like very successful. You know, we sell, you know, 6 figures on eBay for the last 4 years. So what I'm doing is working, but it works for me. It might not work for somebody else. So I think that's really important to remember. But yeah, I think the big buys is a big thing that for me, same as Raw, you know, that's definitely leveling up when you go from, you know, buying the single items to buying 100 or thousands of items, you know, in one go. And I got lucky with it.
Listen, it just takes one pick to turn your entire business around or take the next level. And it can be literally a game changer, change your life.
LaDonna said she has a few totes of linens. I'm going to ask how many. We have almost 250 people in here. I'm just going to put this out publicly because why not? I have very much been contemplating starting a district for vintage linens because I love them that much. And I know you can sell them on a lot of the other ones, but like just linens. So let me know if I did that, if you would sell your vintage linens with me. If I make my own linen world on district, because I really love them. That's something I really, really love. So yeah. All right. Pawpawville, I love your name, said, I signed up for Whatnot. My desktop shows the seller hub and tools, but my iPhone 14 doesn't show the seller hub button. It still just shows the sell button. Does anybody know if that's correct?
I'll pass because I really don't sell on Whatnot a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pass too because we don't have Whatnot here. You guys in the US are spoiled for choice for platforms. We have pretty much eBay, Etsy, and Depop, and that's about it.
So I had an issue with mine. Make sure you update your app. Make sure it's fully updated. If you still have problems with that, I would email customer service on there. But you in the center, they did change around the app. So at first I couldn't find any of my selling stuff, but you have to click on the selling hub in the very center. So if it's just sell in the center, maybe try clicking on that button at the very bottom, and then you'll be able to get to your selling hub. But yeah, they changed it on the app. Because I know I was looking at
mine's updated, but like, and I'm sure you've probably seen screenshots, but like my seller hub's right there on the bottom. Yeah. And I think this one's a 14. That's the girl's work phone. So I would try updating it, and if not, I would uninstall and reinstall it, and that might hopefully get it to work. The only thing I use a seller hub on my phone for though is to get my payouts, which I could do that on the web. So I think it's like, for me, as long as I could go live on the phone, I don't think that would be like, I don't think it would drive me absolutely crazy because I can see my hub on the computer. As long as I could go live, I would be okay. Hoosier Pickers, do you think offering free returns really helps traffic? We offer returns, but many of them, they have buyer paid returns.
2002, which it was a lot different way back then, but I have never offered returns, and I have daily sales. I have about 700 items listed right now, and I sell about 6 to 8 a day.
I offer free returns on eBay and Etsy, and I think it's worth it for me. I don't get many returns. I have turned off my free returns for international shipping though, because it's too much to try and organize that, and I've ended up someone's asking for a return, and the hassle of having to try and get a label to them, etc., etc. I've just let them keep the item and just borne the cost basically. So I just turned that off. But yeah, sure, I'd maybe get one return every few months. That's about it. So yeah, for me, it's worth it.
So I have offered free returns and I have not offered free returns. I don't offer free returns right now, especially depending on what you're selling. Like if you're offering like electronics or you're selling clothes, both those categories have high return rates. So you need to factor that into your buying and what you're buying your items at. But it just depends on your business model. For me, I sell a lot of collectibles and more higher end collectibles. So I don't offer free returns on people. So people want to buy that because sometimes people do get buyer's remorse. So they will have to pay for the return when it comes to that. If I had free returns on, people would be buying very high-end items, get it, and then want to just return it right away. And then we run the risk of those items getting damaged in shipping or something happening to those items along the way, which is going to cause more of a headache and more issues. So for my business model, for what I sell, it works best for that. But just be careful depending on what you're selling. Because, like, for example, like clothing, you're going to have a higher return rate because a lot of clothing may not fit perfectly. So people are going to want to return it. That could be a pro or a con based on your business model. If you're paying high end, if you're paying up for your items and people have free returns on, then they're going to eat away your profit margin. But if you're buying the stuff at the bins for 25, 50 cents a piece, you can offer free returns because at the end of the day, it's not going to eat into your profit margin that much. So it's really going to come down to the type of things you're selling and the type of model and what you're paying for your items.
Can I just say with selling clothing, I think that, yeah, look, you do have that risk of high returns with clothing, but if you are very careful with your measurements, and of course, listing clothes takes longer than almost anything else.
Sure.
You're careful with your measurements and you're careful with the condition and you are meticulous about listing what is wrong with the garment, if there is anything. And I also put a caveat on the bottom of all my clothing listings that the vintage item, this is a vintage item, you can expect some wear unless it's otherwise stated. The item's not going to be perfect. Now, people, I've had, I actually once had someone buy a leather jacket, a vegan leather jacket, and said it wasn't as described, returned it to me, and it was the same jacket, but it wasn't the same jacket. So it was obviously an old jacket that they had, and it was completely falling to bits. And eBay gave me sided with me, but they also let them keep the jacket and keep their refund, which was bizarre. But yeah, so you've just got to be careful with how you list things, and yeah, it's a risk.
Harry Humstone came in the chat, and when I started my channel, before I even had 1,000 subscribers, I hit myself with him. Harry sent me this, and like nobody around here, like that works for me, likes him, so they hide him. I had to go find him. So Harry, I had to show you. We named him Sir Andrew. That is his name. I'm gonna sit him on the desk, and the girl, I guarantee you, he'll be gone tomorrow afternoon. Probably tomorrow morning again. They like to hide him. So I think that it does. I do free returns, and I do it for the reason, who put it in here? Pre-loved bargains. eBay will let them return it. Buyers are smart. They are savvy. They'll just put it doesn't match the description or it doesn't work, and they're going to get it anyways. That's how I look at it. But like if I go look at my eBay in the last 90 days, I think, let me see, we've sold like 700 items, and I have 2 open returns. So, I mean, we really do not get a lot. And I think I told you guys last week, I will fight them. If they say it's not as described, I'm not giving them back their shipping if it is. So the last person returned because they said that I didn't disclose the size, and I had 5 pictures with tape measures. So I did the 50% deduction. I took my shipping back and I reported them. So, I mean, that's the thing that for me anyways, is that I'm not going to let them walk all over me. If they're correct, I will eat it. You know, if it's my fault, that's fine. But I'm not gonna let them, because I think they, like most people, probably just give it back to them, you know, and are like, oh, it's a cost of doing business. But like something like that where it's very clear, like there are 5 pictures with a tape measure. Don't tell me you didn't know the size. And it was collectibles. It wasn't like clothing or something like that that wouldn't fit. And they were just smaller than they thought. And they were $12. $12. And the shipping was $11. So I just deducted the most. I couldn't get all of my shipping back, but I got the majority. So yeah. Kenneth wants to know, do we ever use USPS priority mailboxes or envelopes for shipping?
So I do for my Poshmark sales. I always use the free boxes for Poshmark. I don't use any. I do purchase some boxes. I make sure that if it comes to a Poshmark sale, I'm going to use the free box. But on eBay, I offer priority. I offer ground or priority. And I would say maybe once out of every like 200 sales, somebody will select priority. So it's really rare. But and then Whatnot. If I have a Whatnot show, I do ship a lot of priority with Whatnot, but definitely not on eBay.
So obviously that doesn't apply to me being in Australia, but I presume that USPS priority mail is equivalent to express post here in Australia, where it's guaranteed. It used to be guaranteed to get there the next day. Now they've actually stretched it to guaranteed in 2 to 3 days. But sometimes a customer will say to me, particularly on Etsy where I sell the clothing, they'll say, look, you know, I need this for a wedding. Is it possible to get it express posted? And normally I will express post something and I won't charge them extra. It's difficult to actually charge people extra on eBay once they've paid for it. I know that I did read that you can actually on Etsy prepare a listing which is solely for that person for the excess postage, but I don't bother. I just send it express.
Yeah, so it depends on what platform I'm selling on. If I sell on Poshmark, I'll try to use a priority mailbox because all the labels they send are in priority mail. On Whatnot, anything over £1, I'll ship priority mail up to £5 because Whatnot provides you the shipping label. You don't get to pick your shipping label, so they automatically give you a priority shipping label for those. So I use those a lot. There's only certain things I would ship priority mail, and I'll ship comic books because the priority mailbox fits perfectly for a graded slab. So it's like the perfect fit for it. So I ship a lot of my graded comic books. Anything that's like between 1 to 200. If it's higher than that, I'll go through UPS with, you know, signature confirmation, stuff like that. But just depends on the platform.
Yeah, so we on eBay, depending on where they live, because we're in Florida, £2, it's cheaper to do padded flat rate to like California, Oregon, the West Coast. So anything that's over £1 and not breakable that will fit in a padded flat rate goes into that because it's actually cheaper to do a padded flat rate than £2 at ground rate to the West Coast. So we use them for that. I do upgrade most of my orders that are over $100 to priority, but we were talking last week and people were saying ground was getting there faster than priority. I haven't looked to see if I can add. I would assume I could still add the additional insurance for like the larger sales. And Poshmark, same as everybody said, we use all priority because it's free. I need to look at Whatnot, and I need to remember that because we're going to start selling like knickknacks and collectibles on Whatnot. And I need to, so it automatically on Whatnot will go to priority for over £1, Rod?
Yeah, and whatnot. Anything over a pound automatically goes to priority.
So I'll be able to use the free boxes, which will be
Yep.
nice and a money saver. So that is good for sure.
I was going to say also too, depending if I ship something super heavy, I use priority mailboxes. I use the flat rate though. I would use those. So like for example, if I'm shipping dumbbells, I can ship up to like a single dumbbell up to like 40 pounds in the 12 by 12 box, and with the discounted rate, it only costs me. Normally it'd be $21 box, but it only costs me $16 to ship a 40-pound dumbbell. So keep that in mind. And then, so that's another one. If you guys ever sell anything in bulk that fits in a 12 by 12 and it's super heavy, those flat rate priority mailboxes work great, especially if you use your eBay discount, because eBay gives you a shipping discount. You'll get like anywhere from like $4 to $5 off what it actually costs to ship it. So 21 for a large comes down to like 16, and I think like the other one's like 12 or 13 depending on it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't do a ton of like super heavy stuff that would fit in a flat rate box.
Yeah.
Like most of my heavy stuff is like big stuff. It won't go in a little box. Hey, I had that too. It said, I got a bulk lot of new old stock vintage fishing lures that can go for good money. I have multiples of the same style. Do you think listing with quantity will hurt sales, or would you list one at a time? So if you had some, you didn't say if they're rare. If you're still in the chat, tell us if they're rare. I think that kind of, like, if you have the only one of them, I think that might change an answer.
Definitely. If they aren't rare or a little more common, even with some of my more rare stuff, so I sell a lot of like discontinued cleaning supplies. And if I buy it in bulk from like a discount store, I'll list multiple quantity, because most of the time I will have people buy more than one from me. So, and I know the price that they're selling at. So I'll look at the 90-day solds. If it's constantly they're selling for 55, then I will list, a quantity of one with, or I'll list one listing with a quantity of like 30. So it really just depends on the item, I would say.
I agree with that. I think that when I first started eBay, I mean, I had a lot to sell already because I'd closed down an event styling business that I'd been doing for 20 years, and my parents passed away. So I ended up with everything. And so I'd been digging through that, but I actually did do some sourcing as well. And I bought a lot of stuff that I regret. I did the Avon thing. I bought a box of Avon. I bought a box of some toys and things as well, and I listed them individually at the time, and I've just been going back through things and bulk loading them up, because it's not worth it. I mean, by the time you put one into a box and package it all up and send it off, and if they're not rare, if they're not valuable, yes, package some together, put the rare ones or the valuable ones separately, but package the rest up. Don't mess with fiddly things.
So it depends on the value of the items. If the item's a couple $100, I'm going to list them one by one on there. If I have like 50 of them and they're, $5, $10, $15, $20 items, $30 items, I will actually create 3 different listings. I'll create one for, multi-quantity of like 10 of them, and I'll put one listing up where they can buy one individual, and then I'll create like another listing of like in lots of like 5 or lots of 10. And then, so I'll have 3 separate listings with multi-quantity on each one of those listings. If it's an item that people normally would buy or use multiples of. So like with fishing lures, like someone may want to buy 5 of those because it's, they can't find them anymore. It's vintage. So I would have a lot of selling one individually with a higher price. And then I would have a slight discount for like a lot of like 3, a lot of 5 of them, or maybe like a lot of 10. And I would put my multi-quantity across all those things. So I would have it up for sale, see what sells better. And then what I normally do is I'll take down, like, if I notice one's listing's doing better, I'll end up one listing, just add all the quantity to that other listing then.
Yeah, I would probably do pretty close to the same as Rod. That's what I did. I got a bunch of Pure One charger plates. I actually ended up leaving them all up. I put like one up for $20. I did 4 for $60. So they went down to 15 when they got 4. And then I did 10 for $50. And we sold hundreds of them. I made tons of money on them. So that's exactly what I would do. I'm going to grab these questions because they're pretty easy to answer. If they remove the tags and you can't sell it, typically if they remove the tags, you can still sell it just for less. if it makes it less than that 50%, you can file a claim with eBay, and sometimes eBay will refund you the other 50%. Like if they destroyed it and it's not sellable at all, you can report them, file a claim with eBay, and ask for the 50. The other, you can deduct 50 and ask for the other 50 back if they destroy it. And then I wanted to put this up here because I am one of those sellers. She said she was surprised to hear that sellers ship jewelry in poly bags. I thought it was best to use a box. So it is best to use a box, but if, let's say I paid $3 for a piece of jewelry, it sold for $5. So I'm making about $1.50 for that piece of jewelry. The box cost $1. The bubble wrap cost 25 cents. I just lost all my money by putting your jewelry in a box. So for us, $50 and up total purchase always goes in a box, no matter what it is. It could be something that's never going to break, going to go in a box. For jewelry, if it's something I feel would break in a poly, like glass earrings, I'm going to put them in a box, even if they're $5. I'm not going to purposely put glass in a poly. But if it's metal, even rings, I wrap them in so much bubble wrap, they're not going to get crushed. And I haven't had anybody complain, and we've sent out probably 800 pieces of jewelry in the last 3 weeks. We sell between 100 and 160 per Whatnot show, and we do 3 to 4 a week. And I have not heard any negative feedback. I would refund if that $5 piece of jewelry got broke, but I am in business to make money. And if the profit's not there, the piece is not that valuable, I would rather save the money for the box. And then if it breaks, I'll refund it. But again, I'm not like, I almost make a box out of bubble wrap. Like I fold one piece of bubble wrap around a tiny piece of jewelry. So it's like 2 inches of bubble wrap inside of a padded poly mailer. So I do use the padded ones because I think I get them for like 30 something cents. And I used to put them in the jewelry boxes, which again, that's 40 to 50 cent a jewelry box. And when you only have a couple dollars profit on an item, that adds up really, really fast. So we were doing like 3 to 4 pieces in a little cardboard box. But again, and I'll tell you, like my sterling show, I had quite a few pieces that I sold for less than I paid, and not complaining because overall we do make money. But that little like 50 cent, $1 over 100 pieces of jewelry, it adds up really, really fast. That is my good friend, Elena, treasured. Elena, oh, I got you a present. Are you there? Elena flew on a plane today, I think. I got you a present. I'm going to show you it because you went out of town and didn't come pick up your jewelry. So I got this for Elena at the thrift store the other day. It says, not only am I perfect, I'm Italian too. So you have a present here on my desk when you get back, when you come to pick up your stuff. It's stuffed in with your jewelry in a box. All right. Elena loves her kitty cat. So I'm going to give Elena the kitty cat super chat. I hope you like it. You have to tell me because I saw it and I was like, that's Elena when I saw it. So I had to get it. All right. Tanya said, I have a store with 2,800 listings right now, mostly collectibles, a lot of glassware, just a mixed bag of stuff. I'm thinking about starting to cross list. Where should I start? Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh,
I unmuted you. I don't know how you, I don't know.
okay. I would say if they're vintage, definitely Etsy. I just started cross-listing to Etsy, and I'm doing really well over there with my vintage items. I'd say for me, Mercari and Etsy are doing really well, especially for items like that. So that's where I would start with those.
Yeah, well, for me, I'd have no choice. Etsy would be the place to go, unless I did it on Facebook Marketplace. But Facebook Marketplace where I live seems pretty dead at the moment. So yeah, it would be Etsy. I don't actually sell collectibles in my Etsy shop. I have thought about it, but I'm sort of busy with the clothing, so I might try it at some stage. But yeah, Etsy would be my first choice, even if I was in the US.
Everywhere. That's my answer. List your stuff everywhere. More eyes you get on it, and more people can see your stuff. Believe it or not, I cross list to Whatnot, Poshmark, Mercari, and I sell more stuff on the Stack Marketplace on Whatnot than I do on Poshmark and Mercari combined. So I do really well over there, but I also sell a lot of collectibles, and that's kind of what Whatnot's known for.
So this is really funny because my video that's going to come out tomorrow, this is exactly what I talk about, because I had enough sales on the platforms that are not eBay to make a video of those sales, which is super rare. So the other platforms have picked up. I will say with Etsy, I've gotten pickier, and I talk about it in the video because I have to pay 20 cents a listing. So I don't put $20 items on Etsy. I mainly stick to like 50 and higher. I sometimes, if I'm like, oh, this is perfect for Etsy, I'll put a $20 to $35 item, but very, very rarely do I do that. So watch my video tomorrow. I go and I talk about like what you have to do. Like with Poshmark, I actually show all my stats, and the majority of my sales come from offers. So I talk about that. And yeah, so my video tomorrow is about that. If you're going to cross list using a service, be it, I use List Perfectly, Rod uses Vendu. No matter which cross posting service you use, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it, in my opinion, to all of them that they would fit on. So like we do Etsy, Mercari, Posh. Those are our three, but I don't do everything to Etsy, but I will tell you, we talked about it either last week or the week before, and somebody was saying that they really noticed with Etsy, if they listed every day, the algorithm, they were getting more sales. So I've tried to put at least 10 up on Etsy, or a handful every day, and we are getting more Etsy sales. So I would say try to at least do a few every day if you're going to do Etsy, because I have noticed a difference with that. And like Mercari and Poshmark, you don't have to pay to list them. So it's like 10 seconds if you're using a service to add, a couple more platforms, and it's really easy. I get to use my turtle. If you guys do not know, this week is like the busy week for my membership. So we had live shipping yesterday. We have live sourcing tomorrow. I source by your zip code, by local auction. And then on Thursday, we have store reviews. So this week has everything that I offer in the membership. So this week is super busy. So now is a good time to join. I didn't do it last week because I knew I had a clean out. I have a clean out this week too, but I'm like, I can't not do it for 2 weeks. So, yeah, so this week is super busy with it. I'm looking for my turtle. There he is. Here you go. We got another super chat from Sweet Peas Attic. She said, my Sweet Peas Attic channel is 99% picking videos. If I started recording what sold videos, should I upload them to my existing channel or make a new one?
I'd say just upload them to what you have going on now. Definitely your viewers might enjoy something a little different.
Yeah, I don't have a YouTube channel, but that would be my suggestion as well. People like a bit of variety. You can still specialize in something, but throw in some different things here and there.
So I have 3 channels. I have one for picking and punching, which I go picking. I have flipping and punching, which it was my what sold and everything else. And then I also have picking, punching cards. And there's a reason behind that, and there's a couple different reasons. I'll explain why. So when I first started out, I had one channel, picking and punching. I would do comic book mystery boxes. I was doing other mystery boxes because garage sales were slow at the time, and I would do garage sales. My garage sale video would do great, get a couple thousand views. My mystery box video would do a couple hundred views. Then my mystery box would get a couple thousand views, and then my garage sale video would get a couple hundred views, because the algorithm didn't know how to push me to garage sales or to comic book audience. When I niched down to just doing garage sales, my channel really started taking off, and the algorithm knew where to push me to. Then I started to do factoring what sold videos. And there's a reason why people like watching American Pickers. There's a reason why people like watching Pawn Stars. They like the treasure hunt. They don't like the treasure at the end of the tunnel sometimes. All right. They so what was happening is I would do my picking videos. I would get a couple thousand views, and then my what sold would only get a couple hundred views. You can put all in the same channel, but they were actually hurting my channel more than helping my channel at the time. Now for me, because I have a different business model, a lot of people, I started a second channel with it because it was easier for me to promote affiliate links and stuff like that. Where if I'm in over a yard sale and I pick up some Pyrex, I can't be like, hey, when I buy this Pyrex, I'm going to use my Reseller Journey to add it to my accounting software to know what I sell. Like that's not very, I couldn't really do that. So by being able to use my Flipper channel, I was able to do more business affiliate links. I was able to promote like my whatnots, my Dibbit shows, other stuff going on. So for me, it was more of separating the two was better for my business, but that's not for everyone out there. So I would say if you're not doing other stuff, you can put all in one channel, but just keep an eye on if it's hurting your channel. It may hurt your channel more than help your channel. Just depends on what you're currently doing. For my business model, it was hurting my channel, and just sticking to more or less because of the feedback I was getting from a lot of people where like, I love your picking videos. I don't watch your flipper videos because I don't care about what you're selling on eBay. I just like going along for the hunt at the flea markets because I don't have flea markets by me, or it's in the wintertime. I can't go to garage sales. So that's the feedback I just got from my viewership.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. If you asked me this 3 years ago, I would tell you keep it all on one channel. You guys know I have 2 channels. I really have 3, but I don't do anything on the third one. And it's definitely different audiences. Some will watch both, yep, but some only want to watch one or the other. I tried to not be so educational in my thrifting videos, but I cannot turn it off. I just naturally, that's what I'm like. I'm picking this up because it sells for this, or I'm leaving this because it doesn't sell. I tried to do like, oh, this would be cute with this and this decor. It didn't work. It's not me. But I do feel like a lot of people just like, it's like American Pickers, the general population is more likely to watch a thrifting garage sale picking video than they are a what sold. The general population likes my research videos because they like to see what sells for a lot of money. So if you guys wonder why I do the high dollar stuff, that's the shocker value. But the high dollar stuff, those brands have lower dollar stuff that you can find too. So I think it kind of appeals to more of a mass audience. And that is where like, if you put one up, you'll see how they're going to react, whether they're going to like it or not. And, and I'll answer that in 2 seconds. And they might love it. My thrifting videos did not get that many views on this channel. When I separated it out, I was getting more views on a channel with way less subscribers than I was here with over 100,000. So again, like Rod said, it might work for you, it might not. For me, that's what works. Sarah's asking, is the teaching because of nursing? I think so, because like we have to teach and educate our patients and people. And so I don't miss like the teaching and helping people. I'm doing both on here, honestly. So I still get that doing this. I spent probably an hour this morning. If you guys know, I go to the gym every morning for an hour, and then I go swimming for an hour, and I go swimming at the springs. And I was talking to someone, and she is a teacher, so she's on summer break. And I was like, that's like my biggest thing with this is like, I love teaching. And we stood in the water talking about reselling for an hour. And I really didn't have the time, but I love telling people what I do because I really love it. And she's like, oh, I could use a side hustle, And so we were talking about inventory and learning like what items sell and figuring out what you want to do. And I love teaching, period, regardless of like what it is. Like I'm happy to help people with YouTube as well. like anything, I like helping people. That's
so. Just to add to that too, that doesn't mean you can't do it. Like, look at Harry Tornado's channel. He does what's sold. He does thrifting.
And a lot of people can be super entertaining. I'm not like, and I know everybody tells me this all the time. Every time I say this, that I'm entertaining, but I don't feel like I push like the entertainment aspect. I push like the educational aspect.
But people enjoy that though.
But a lot of people are really good. Like, Kevin's a storyteller, right? Kevin can tell you a story. I'm not much of a storyteller. Rarely do I do that. Josh is very, very entertaining, him and Haley. Everybody has their own style and their own way that, that they're doing their YouTube, that they're teaching. And not everybody's going to like you, and that's fine. I normally share it out with some of my friends, but I had somebody tell me that I was just chasing the money. That's the only reason I was doing research videos and like a bunch of stuff. And they're like, I've been watching you years, and I blocked them. So if they're watching now, I'm never going to see your comments again. And, because I'm not. And they're like, you're making more from videos. No, I wish I was making $150,000, $200,000 in ad revenue, but sadly I'm not. And yeah, that's just, so it's just not me. And you got to find your own thing. And it's a combination. And when, like, for me, my research video started because actually my first research video was linens, go figure. And it went so well, I was like, I'm going to do something else. And my research videos are more viewed than my what sold, which is what I built my channel on. But I like doing them, and you guys like watching them. So it's finding the combination of what you like doing and what your people like watching, and that's like the biggest thing. Yeah. See, like everybody that I know of does love the research videos. And I know several of my content creator friends that are doing the same thing, but in their niche. Like Katie does it on books. I know Scott's done a couple as well. So other content creators like started doing it too, which is cool. And I don't care. Like, everybody can do it, because we all have different perspectives. Like, I can do a research video on teacups, and I might pick out 20 that are my top 20. And Amanda might go and pick out 20 different ones to show you at the same time period, because our eyes see and like different things.
Couple things I want to add to that, Kat. Like, for me, I was going out garage sailing and stuff like that, but I was finding sports cards, and I realized that even though I love doing it, my audience would tolerate a portion of it, but if I wanted to do more and more into it, they weren't into it because they just like the general picking aspect. So I took that and I removed it from all my videos and created a separate channel because I was really niching down on sports cards. But I would say in the very beginning, a lot of you guys are starting out, or you guys have aspirations to start a YouTube channel. Try everything. Try your flipper videos, try your picking videos, try everything you can potentially think in the very beginning, because you have leeway to do that. When you have 100,000 subs like Kat, it's hard for Kat to change up how she do her videos, because she can have a swing of going from 5,000 views to 50,000 views, So there's a big difference in that, especially when that's part of your business model. So I would say when you're starting out, try flipper videos, try picking videos, niching down, do cleaning, whatever you can potentially think of.
Yeah, like Rachel Strickland does a ton of purse cleaning videos that have done like amazing for her, and she loves doing it, and her people love watching it.
There's also two things though too. Is there's something called an evergreen video, and then there's your regular video. Your evergreen video, like for example, is how to change my tire on my truck. Okay. It doesn't matter if it's going to be year 1 or year 7. How to change a tire on a truck is pretty much going to be the same exact way how to change a tire on a truck. Okay. But what I found on Valentine's Day weekend at the flea market, it's only going to be for that Valentine's Day weekend that people want to go watch, or maybe they come across that video. So when you create evergreen content, it may have a very slow start, but over time it could help build you extra things. Like Kat's research videos do really great because they're evergreen. So people can go back and research those, even though the pricing may change. The most solid items in those research videos are probably still going to be very similar to what they are. So when you guys do this stuff, you guys really need to try to figure out what is best for you and what you guys actually want to do and what your audience likes. So
Amanda, the wah 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 is back.
It's Amanda, I think.
It is.
So we'll mute you
I don't know.
before when we're all talking, if that's okay with you, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
we'll
that's
talk.
fine. That's fine.
Okay.
All right. Let me give a super chat. Eeny, meeny, miny. Oh, I haven't done the whale. Here you go. And then I saw another super chat. All right. Texas Resale Queen said, please explain sell similar versus relist for hitting 30 days. If you have a store, can't they just keep going? And how do you use it with List Perfectly?
So I don't use List Perfectly. Oh, I hear the echo too. Yeah, I don't use List Perfectly. I use Nifty. They relist everything for me. And basically, instead of you ending an item and then hitting relist or letting eBay relist it for you, when an item is ended and relisted using sell similar, it's like a brand new listing. So basically, you're feeding the eBay algorithm.
So I don't use List Perfectly either. It's just not worth my while. I'd love to, but with the exchange rate, because our dollar isn't worth as much as yours, it works out to be fairly expensive for me here. And because I've only got the 3 platforms, it's not really worth my while. I mean, once I've listed something on Etsy, particularly if it's clothing, which takes a while to list, it's pretty easy just to copy and paste into Etsy, and then Depop is a pretty easy platform to list on, so I don't. I do end and sell similar every morning on eBay, mostly every morning. But I think the relist, I'm not quite sure about that. I know that obviously if you sell something, you have the option to relist it, but that's really all I know about the relisting.
Yeah, so I would say one of the best practices is start your day by ending in sell similar. The reason for that is even if you can't get your listing done that day, you have some type of activity in your store. And when I end and then sell similar, it's pretty much looking like a brand new listing, because I'm going to go in there, I'm going to adjust the title, I'm going to adjust the price. Because if the item's been on eBay and it hasn't sold in months, then I need to either lower that price, adjust something, because the market could A, potentially have changed, B, I overpriced the item, C, maybe I had some type of error in there. Like, there's times where did the fat fingers. I think we've all been there, where my $19.99 item was really listed on eBay for $1,900. We've all been there before. So that's why it's good to just do this almost like a pulse check on your listings in a way too.
Yeah, so as far as List Perfectly, I haven't used the feature yet, but they do have like where you can click it and tell it to end and sell similar. I haven't figured it out. I haven't had the time, honestly, to even look at it. So I still am manually ending and selling similar. I do not do it at 30 days, though. I think that's too soon. I do it after they've been listed 3 months. So I do it at the 4-month mark. And I'm like, Rod, that's like my morning ritual. I go in, I end all of the ones that are 4 months or older that are ending that day, because they're going to roll over anyways. And I used to relist them early in the morning. Now I relist them at like 1 p.m. so that if I'm busy one morning, they haven't all already rolled over. I learned that the hard way, because I'd go and there'd be none if I looked at like noon. And I need to take some time, because List Perfectly, I'm using the send offer, I'm using sharing on Poshmark. They have like so many new features lately. I need to learn them. I know Trisha's in state, I think mid-month this month, so maybe I can coerce her to come give me a private tutorial on all the new features. But if you have a store, they can keep going. So I would let them keep going at least to the 4-month mark, or 3 months. Everybody says 3 months typically, but like Rod said, and I don't do it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't change the title. I don't change the pictures. 9 times out of 10, I don't change anything. I just end them and list them again. But it helps. I send out tons of offers. I sold something today that was listed for 4 years. 4 years. It was listed in 2021. So it does work to get the older items, even though I wasn't changing stuff. And yeah. All right. I haven't done the pillow fight in forever, I feel like. So here, they're so, well, Brooke was grown, but Dalton was very little here. They're probably inside playing video games now. That's what they do. They play Fortnite. And he hasn't come back out. So apparently he was so mad I was not shipping that he decided not to come in here with us tonight. This is a good question. And Amanda and I touched on this a little bit when we were chit-chatting. Todd wants to know, are you as rich reselling in YouTube as you want to be?
Are you as rich reselling in YouTube as you
Are you
want?
making as much as you want to be making? I feel like this would be the same answer for everybody, really. But
I mean, no, I mean, for me, I never am. So I know a lot of people think that if you make content, you sell more, or like you're making more off the content than you are off your reselling. And it's really hard to make money on content. Like, it takes a really long time. I've been making content for like 4 years now, and it's hard. It's really hard. Even now, after I've been on YouTube only for a little over a year, and I haven't even hit 10,000 subscribers yet. So I mean, it takes a lot of work. With making content, you put in way more work and you get paid way less than with reselling.
My answer is no. I do like a challenge, and I'm an optimist. So sometimes I imagine, all of my 3,500 items selling at once in my store.
Could you imagine? I'd be like, oh.
The packaging and shipping would be a complete nightmare, but yeah, it would be a great thing. So yeah, the short answer is no. I wish.
Absolutely not. I have a wife, and I have a stepson, and I have dogs and pets, and so no, I need more money, to be honest with you. But no, I mean, you guys all hit the nail on the head. It's people who think that look at like, oh, because Mr. Beast makes millions of dollars on YouTube, that everyone's making a ton of money. I will tell you, as we talked about YouTube earlier, I just want to give one piece of warning to you guys. Make sure that you truly love making videos and making content, that you're not doing it for money. Because if you're doing it for money, don't even try or start to do it. Because you will end up giving up and quitting. It took me, I think, my 100th video before I had something that pretty much went viral, like got 20 or 30,000 views. And I was literally stuck at like this hump for like the longest time. And then that one video bumped me over that to really start taking off. But like, I put in I put in thousands of hours before I actually made 1 cent on YouTube. And so, yeah, you will make more money reselling if you focus all the time that you focus on YouTube and stuff at reselling. Now, later on, as you can grow and you can get to, a lot more, then you can get sponsorships. You can get, it opens up more doors for networking. It opens up doors for being able to travel, speaking engagements, like a lot of stuff. But like that takes years to do that. It's a very long time. And I would tell you this: if you guys want to be successful on YouTube, the much as videos like Flipper channel, you guys are coming here for 2 hours and watching this podcast, and you guys watch Flipper videos and Picket videos. Do the same thing for thumbnail videos, for YouTube videos, how to edit, how to create thumbnails, how to create titles, because those are going to be the most important things for you. And if you can get all your stuff 1% better each video, you'll be on your way to be successful. But don't think that you're going to get rich off it, because you don't. We do this because we want to connect with the community and build a community around us. And over time, it will pay off long term. But at the end of the day, like, it's a lot of work. So no, we don't make anywhere near the amount of money we should make on YouTube for what we do. Long-winded answer.
I will say I do. I feel like I'm not as rich as I want. I'm going to say no like everybody else, but I, at this point, am fairly compensated for my time. I do very well on YouTube. I also do very well on affiliates. I'm going to throw this perfectly out there for those of you that are new content creators that aren't using a cross-posting service. And because it's very public, you can go on their page and see on List Perfectly for the affiliate program, every person that you sign up, you get 20% of what they pay every month. my List Perfectly affiliate is a very, very nice check in its own. I love them. I use them like that, like 100% real, everything I tell you. And I have turned down multiple people because if I don't feel like it's something that would be good for my viewers, I don't care how much money they owe me. I'm not for sale. I had somebody recently, and he was a very nice guy, but he was advertising a drop shipping program. And I'm not a fan of drop shipping. I'm not a big advocate of it. So it didn't matter how much he was going to offer me. I wasn't going to do it. But like thermal printers that I use, I do make them. They have to send me it. I have to use it. Before I'm going to show you guys and tell you to use it, I'm going to use it. Because that's my name. That's my reputation. And I'm not going to recommend something to you that I don't use. So like, as far as those of you on YouTube, and this is where I was saying, like, I love teaching people as far as YouTube. Before YouTube, i.e. Google, is paying you, you can make money on affiliates. You can make money from List Perfectly or Bindu or whoever it is. You also can make money on your Amazon affiliates. You can affiliate your eBay store. So when people click to buy things from you, you get a commission. I got banned for life from that program. I will tell you, if you make a link tree, you have to put the disclaimer on your link tree or they will kick you out. And that is what happens.
Well, that's a federal law that you have to do that. Anytime you have anything for advertising. So
I put it at the top of my link tree now, though.
Yes.
Like it's because so it's on all my videos, but I didn't have it on the link tree. So now I had to like add text at the top of the link tree, but I didn't do that till after.
Let's give this full disclaimer for all you people out there that are just starting new YouTube channels.
You have to tell people if you're getting paid for what they're doing.
If it's a paid advertisement in your video, like say, hey, come to Whatnot, but Whatnot's paying me money to make this like short little interview. You have to put a disclaimer in your description there. Or if you have affiliate links, you need to put it down there. Hey, I get commission
a
off
small
these
percent of whatever.
Because remember this, that's a law. You can get a lot of trouble for that. Number two is it takes years to build a reputation, guys. You guys will grind and grind and grind, but it takes
don't get rid of that for $1,000.
But it takes minutes to lose that. So make sure that if you guys do sign up for affiliates, you're not just signing up because of the money. Make sure it's something that you truly believe in, and it's a product that you use or a product that you would fully support. Do not chase the money, because if you're good at what you do and you grow, the money will come. I promise you that. Me and Kat give away all this free content on here, and all of our videos free content, because the money will come down the line because we're good at what we do. And, you know, that's why we do what we do. But just remember that when you guys are just starting out, do not chase the money. Remember, your reputation is more important. The money will come if you guys do grind it out and work it out.
Marsha, not for your eBay store link. If it's an eBay affiliate link where eBay is giving you a % for bringing them there, then yes. If you're just putting a straight link to your store, which is what mine is now, since I'm not allowed in the affiliate program, you do not have to. I just put one at the very bottom and say that. So Todd's saying his YouTube channel makes $10 a month, but if you got one person to sign up for List Perfectly, you'd be making more than that on that. Yeah. I'm just saying, and I'm using that because that's what I do, so I know like their percents and what I'm making. But all of the other companies, I haven't worn my glasses in forever. I go through like year-long phases where I wear contacts and I wear glasses. When I got my new glasses this year, I got my glasses from a company that had an affiliate program. And I did that because people asked me where I got my glasses. And I'm like, if they're asking me, I want to get paid. And that's how you start thinking as a content creator. And I even tell my hairstylist, I'm like, make an affiliate Amazon. Like, you're recommending me hair products. You're recommending me blow dryer, like all of this stuff. Like a blow dryer might be $200 for a really nice one, and she could have made $10 on that. You know, like, why not? If you're going to recommend and make, I'm taking your recommendation, I'm buying it because of you. Why would you not want to get paid? Same thing, like anybody. Like if you're in any position where you're telling people, like Brooke put my makeup stuff, we put makeup on Amazon because so many of you were asking when my daughter started doing my makeup, what are you using? How do you do it? She made a tutorial and we put it on Amazon affiliate link. We only get like 2%. It's not a ton of money, but it adds up. And if we're talking about it, why not? To become an affiliate, most websites, if you look at the bottom, they say like affiliate.
So
it's or you can Google like Live Perfectly affiliate, Vindu affiliate, Amazon affiliate. And I looked for glasses companies that had affiliates, and I got a pair of free glasses and I got a link. So if I start wearing them again, I will share the link. Like I don't share it and I don't talk about it if I'm not wearing them and nobody's asking, but like hair stuff, like if people are asking about it, I want to have an affiliate link, because if I'm going to recommend you something now at this point, we're influencers and I feel like we should get paid for that.
So also too, everyone here has pretty much has an eBay store. Go and sign up for the eBay affiliation program.
Make sure you put the disclaimer.
Yeah, but you don't have to be on YouTube. You have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have all these other platforms. You can put it in there.
You have your friends you're texting.
But here's the thing is, if people click on your link and they go look at your store and they don't buy anything, but they find that same item in someone else's store and buys it with that same day, you get a small, tiny percent. It could be a couple cents. So they, just because they click on your link and don't buy anything from your store, they can go somewhere else on eBay and buy it, and you will get a percentage of that. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, Amazon too. Like people have talked about, like people go spend thousands of dollars after they clicked on their link and they get like hundreds of dollars for some new living room set that they bought, or whatever it is.
Imagine if you did like an $800 vacuum. Only takes 1 or 2 or 3 of those to sell, and you will get a nice little commission for all that.
And that's the nice thing about evergreen content too. So if you're teaching people and you're showing them how to photograph things, you show them the lights you use, you show them the phone that you use, you show them everything you use, and you put links. Boxes is one, like our jewelry boxes are there. I have like a little, if you have over 10,000 followers, you can get an Amazon shop. That's what I have. So we have like makeup, we have shipping supplies, I have YouTube supplies. I have absolutely everything. I am only banned from having an eBay affiliate. eBay is who caught me, and then I posted, then I updated it. I have it on all my videos. My videos was not the problem. It was my link tree from Instagram. I did not have that disclaimer on my link tree telling people if they clicked it, I got 1%. So now I do. If you go look at my link tree, that is there. I will not lose any more of those. All right, let me give Todd something. I don't know what. What am I giving Todd? And then we have a couple more super chats.
Give him a comment whoop.
Okay, I stopped it fast enough. Here you go.
I just apologize, you ladies, in advance.
Okay, sorry.
If you don't know who that is.
I want to say too, I started my YouTube in 2019. I got on the bandwagon right before a lot of people did during COVID. I started mine right before, and I was on every Reselling live. I spent probably 40 hours a week leaving comments and being in lives. And people would tell me they could not go anywhere reselling related that they did not see my name. And that was my goal. And I busted my butt for a long time to get my name. I sent super chat just like this to get my name up on the screen when there were hundreds of people in the chat, just like this. This right here is advertising. That is a business expense, just FYI. I sent super chats. I responded to comments. If it was a chat where it was busy, they couldn't get to all the questions, I would help answer the questions for people in the chat. Like, hey, I know my stuff. Not like showing off, just helping, because I knew that that person wasn't going to get to answer their question. The main one was Josh, Harry Tornado, and Haley. Josh did a couple where he let new creators come on, which was fun. I met people that I'm still really good friends with, like Joey Bada Bing. Both of us had like 100 or 200 subscribers. Josh let us come on in front of like 1,000 people. So we did that. But it like Rod said, you put in hundreds and hundreds of hours of work and make nothing. You make absolutely nothing for it. Me at the point I'm at, which some people, and I tell everybody, I think it's less than 1% of content creators make a living at YouTube. Keep that in mind. 1%.
The numbers are actually crazy, Kat, if you actually know the actual numbers on this.
Is it less than that?
I'll pull it up. Just keep talking.
But I will tell you, my YouTube income is somebody's full-time job. Like what I get compensated plenty at this point, but it goes up and down. It's like worse than eBay.
If you don't put the time in,
$3,000 for me, like 3,000 less, and I'm like, what the heck? Like I did exactly the same thing, and I just made $3,000 less. I just got a huge pay cut.
Yeah,
you never can't control it. Like except for being consistent and doing the same thing, which I've been doing for years, it still goes up and down. Now my thrifting channel, if I put the work in, I see that income go up because it's still a smaller channel. So, and I consistently put out videos on here because this is the one that's making the most money. So it gets the most attention. But it doesn't, Marsha's putting hers up there. It doesn't always pay off. I'm not going to name names, but there are multiple people that started their channels in 2019. When I started mine, we were all our own little circle, all starting with 100, 200 subscribers. We were all friends, all in the same place. And some of them still have not got monetized 5 years later. And in my opinion, they have good content and they have good videos. Do I know why? I don't know why. Like, I couldn't be like, oh, their videos suck, because they don't. They have good videos. I got lucky, and I think most everybody that watches me know it is the stock market, and sometimes it crashes, it sucks. You can't, it's hard to depend on the YouTube income. And I mean, eBay is almost the same way, but it's, my teacup video got 500,000 views. Teacups. If you would have told me teacups is what would blow my channel up, I would tell you you're crazy. And everybody still makes fun of me for that because a teacup, I didn't know teacups, and then I tried to copy it. I will tell you, you can get a viral and you can try and copy it. Doesn't work. So yeah. All right. I have a lot of super chats. Let's see what's going on. My good friend Drew said we are doing great and sent us a $4.99 super chat. Drew gets me with the alligator. I need to make a new one, or have Yvonne make me a new one. So here you go.
All right, Kat, I got some numbers for you. All right.
Okay, tell us.
So this is a reality check. Over 500 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every minute. So just keep that in mind. That's crazy. So here's a breakdown from ChatGPT. Most creators make less than $100 per month. That's about 90% of all YouTubers make less than $100 a month from ad revenue. Part-time income from $100 to $1,000 is roughly 7 to 8% of the YouTubers fall in this one, of that smaller percentage. And then full-time YouTubers are making over $1,000 a month is about 1% of all the creators on YouTube make that. So just think of, it's very, and that's usually those creators have 50,000 subs, regular uploads, and multiple income streams such as ads, sponsorship, merchandise, etc. And then 0.1% of all YouTubers make $10,000 plus a month. So that
I am not in that percent.
That goes to show you how tiny, when you see these people making millions of dollars and all this money, they are like a fraction.
0.1.
Yeah.
They're the cream de la cream.
Yeah. So
that
just to put things in perspective for you guys, just so you understand too. And also too, depending on the category, if if you're streaming video games and your age demographic is going to be like 5 to like 13 on there, and you have hundreds of thousands of views, you're not making anything compared to someone who's, has 100,000 views giving financial advice or stock market advice, because the advertisers like the age demographic that you're currently in, or for like what your niche is in. So just keep that in mind too.
So I'm in the 1%, but the goal is to get in the cream, the 0.1% is the goal. I've done it 1 month, and that was the month the teacup video came out. 1 month of my 5-year career, I was the cream de la cream. Mark came in exactly 9/11, as he does most weeks, and Mark. Some people have their regular super chats. Mark's is Rod.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
I didn't do it.
Don't you dare. Don't you steal my gimmick. I always punch the screen at the end of all my videos. And then, damn it, Kat! I told you not to steal my gimmick every time. That's... You're here for my
Sarah Smalls, Not by the Seashore, gifted. 10 of you just got new membership. So again, tomorrow's live sourcing, Thursday's store reviews. I'm going to post a sign up for both of those as soon as we get done here. So watch the community feed if you're in the membership. And I get to play my turtle again. So I am happy. Here you go. Marsha, where are you at? I'm Googling it. How Marsha needs 220 more subscribers, 215 to hit 1,000.
So
I don't know how many of you are not subscribed, but there's 350 of you in here. Like, we could do this. Get Marsha to 1,000 subscribers. Marsha will be on in 2 weeks with Elena, Treasure Diva Thrifts. And Marsha helps me, guys, every single show. When I was doing 5 whatnots a week, Marsha was in there moderating for me for free. Marsha is absolutely amazing. I go thrifting with her. Her mom's new thrift store. It's the church's new thrift store, but her mom helped a lot. But it's absolutely amazing. And please go follow Marsha. And I'm in a lot of her thrifting videos, but on the other end of the camera, because she's wearing her GoPro. What are we giving Marsha?
Well, explain why. The reason why this is so important for her to 1,000 subs, guys, to be monetized on YouTube, you have to have 1,000 subs and you have to have 4,000 hours of watch time. So hitting one of those milestones is huge for all new creators. So that's like the biggest milestone you guys want to hit. So let's help get her there, because she puts a lot of time in here helping out.
All right. I still don't know what I want to give her. I'm going to give you the original. We'll go OG here. Super chat. I feel like even the video, like it's like the old TV, even the video quality on that one's like, that's like a 4-year-old super chat. That was the first one we ever had. All right. Let's see. Deb said she's going to her first estate sale to expand her better jewelry section. What tips can you give a first-time buyer? How early is too early to show up?
Okay, so I don't sell jewelry, and I really think how early you show up depends on your area. So because I post a lot about estate sales on my Facebook page, and everybody who lives in a different state, it's different. So where I live, some places will put out a sign-up sheet the night before. You can go put your name on the sign-up sheet. They call you in order of how you're on the sheet. Some of them, and they'll let you know. Usually I use estatesales.net. So I always read through all of their information that they have. Some places they'll let you know, like, we're putting out a sign-up sheet at 8 a.m. Some sales will honor street numbers. I don't know if that's a thing where you live, but let's say I get to the sale at like 3 o'clock in the morning and I have my own list and people come to my car, they sign up on the sheet. And then once the sale puts out their sheet, I take my sheet and we transfer to the sales sheet. So I would, if you're finding the estate sale on estatesales.net, read through all of the information that the company has available on the website.
Okay, so I'm so jealous of you guys. You have so much on offer over there. Look, I don't, where I live anyway, I don't, there's no estate sales. And unless I haven't found them, but I've been looking for a long time. So I do my shopping on, auctions, and also just sourcing through op shops, or your thrift shop. We call them op shops here. And I think that I kind of go by the philosophy when I'm op shopping or thrifting that, the universe is going to deliver to you what you need to have delivered to you. And so, I don't have to go at a specific time. I just think if it's meant to be, I'll find what I need to find. And I just kind of throw it upstairs, and just go, whatever I need, give it to me. And so I guess for an estate sale, yes, it would be wise to turn up early to something like that, because I've watched a lot of videos of, people in the US going to estate sales. For sure, I would turn up early, but I think that if you get into that competitive mindset and that FOMO stuff, I feel like you'll just kind of, block off the energy and it won't come to you. So yeah, that's my best advice.
So I've been to a lot of estate sales, and I'll give you some good tips. Your phone has a notepad on it. Use your phone notepad. So, for example, my area, I live in Florida. We have a ton of estate sales in my area because, unfortunately, Florida is where people come to die. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but people come to retire, and that happens a lot down here. And so we have a lot of different estate companies. So I'd recommend going to find out the name of the estate companies, go to as early as you can to get to your first time going there. Take notes on your phone for each estate company. Some are going to be extremely overpriced, but they might have 50% off on day 2 or day 3 because they need to clear stuff out. So it's better to just show up to those estate sales on the second or third day. Some may not know how to price their items. They just want to blow it out. I've been to those estate sales. So those you have to get there first thing. Also, every estate sale usually has a sign-up sheet. Make sure you sign up for those because they will send you an email, and then you can see the pictures of the items and stuff like that if you want to go to those estate sales. But I would say take notes on your estate sale companies. I will tell you, let's just say there's 15 in my area. There will probably be only 2 or 3 that I would want to go to because they either price their stuff accordingly or I can get really good deals at them. And also tell them what you do and let them know what you're looking for. Because I had a estate company before they, actually me and my buddy of mine too had it, where they would reach out to you and let you know when they get good stuff in or let you come in early to pick because they know that you are a buyer. And this is why it's so important to tell people what you do. And they know that you're going to come in and take everything they had or, say, hey, if you're buying records or if you're buying, action figures or sports cards or video games, like tell them that's what you're looking for. They'll just reach out to, hey, I got a big find. Make sure you're here. I can take care of you. So I've had that too. But make friends with the estate sale companies. Bring them donuts. Introduce yourself. Like those things go a long way. Trust me.
Yeah, so I don't do a ton of estate sales in person. I mostly do online estate sales. The only time I've gotten there really early to an estate sale was for jewelry, and that was because I saw it in the photos. And I think it was a jewelry seller's estate sale because they had thousands of pieces of sterling silver. And I got there like an hour early and I was fine. I was actually second in line. But I found this like amazing mid-century modern that had tons of like kitschy anthropomorphic stuff worth hundreds and thousands of dollars. And they told me people were there at 3 a.m. for that one. And they so people that got there at like 6 didn't get in at all that day because there were hundreds of people lined up. It was insane, the stuff that they had. I don't know where you're at. I'll tell you where I am. 90% of the estate companies pull the jewelry. They do not sell it at the estate sale and they sell it on auction. So they will have the estate sale and then they will have an auction after. And the higher dollar stuff that didn't sell at the estate sale goes into it and the jewelry goes into it. And also a lot of the estate sale companies have people that buy it from them and you never see the silver or gold. So I very, very rarely see at least precious metals and higher end where I'm at. I know they do it. I find them on the online estate auctions because that's how I get my jewelry, but I do not find them in person. And that's one of the reasons I don't go a ton. I'm almost like Jeannie though. Like I'll roll in at noon. Like I'll find something. You know, I'm not trying to get up early. I did for that jewelry because there were 1,000 pieces of sterling sitting on a table. So if I saw a reason, then I would. But I saw a reason once in the last 4 years. So, you know, I love going in on the last day and finding stuff that people miss for days, and I'm getting it for 50% off. Like that's my favorite thing, is the stuff that nobody pays attention to that makes money that's still there. But I agree with making friends. I just don't do enough. I like my weekends, so I don't really source much on weekends. We go to a flea market sometimes, but not like a ton of sourcing on the weekends. Marcella says she has her first local pickup. Do they pay online or can they pay cash when they pick up? I'm going to grab it real quick. They can do either. Mine that picked up my table this weekend paid online for it. And then I sold them another chair when they picked up the table. And that one I ended and they are sending me cash for. I trusted that. We went back to the old days. I even told her that because she didn't have the cash on her, and they were really cool. He was a doctor, so we talked about the medical profession, and she's like, "I'll just mail you cash," and I'm like, "Okay." And so yeah, they can do either. You just have to mark it as paid. Make sure you get the code. I forgot this weekend when they picked up my rattan table, but luckily I had texted her because they got lost. And so I just texted her and said, "Hey, can I get the pickup code? I forgot to get it." And she sent it to me and it was fine. All right. Pat Rose says, "I want to start live auction on DibDit Threads. If you guys do not know, that is a district platform from Kevin the Mermaid to sell clothes on district." She says she's watched videos, but she would like screenshots of what she can expect to see to get started. I'm going to say Rod's probably the best one to answer this one.
What does she mean? She wants some screenshots.
Does Dave show like screenshots in his video of how to, or I haven't watched his video.
Yeah. So Pat, send me a message, picking punching. You can send me on Instagram or on actually the district platform if you want. I can send you the direct links. There's some tutorials on how to kind of do your listings, how to do your live sales, static listings, stuff like that. But it's great, man. I love it. We've had the marketplace for about 4 months now. We're up to like 1,700 users, and we run weekly rate trains on there, theme shows. But it's a great place to source and great place to move items quickly, especially if you're someone who sources from the bins. Threads is a great place to quick sell items because you get stuff.
Well, like I think my dollar closed too. Like that's something we're working.
Yeah, let me know, Kat, when you want to do it. We'll get you approved and get in there. But
yeah, I would say I will. Well, this clean out I'm doing Thursday is 2 full closets of clothes, so that might be a good time. Yeah,
because I can co-stream or get some to co-stream with if you want. But Pat, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I can help you out and get you started on there. So
Sarah sells smalls. I think you should add not by the seashore, just for me. Wants to know, what was the scariest part of launching your YouTube channel? We launched this week and I feel pretty nervous.
I would just say putting your first video out there, editing. So I started on Facebook and Instagram. And so I was just used to making reels, really short videos. So I was kind of intimidated as to how long should my first video be, editing my first video, and then the thumbnail, the title. It's all pretty intimidating at first, but I'd say once you get your first couple of videos down, you kind of find what is working. And then even now, I put out a YouTube video today. I asked ChatGPT to help me with the title, help me with my thumbnail. There's a lot of resources out there. So if you're nervous, just get online and use all the resources that you have available. Watch some YouTube videos. There's a lot of free information out there.
I don't do YouTube, of course, but I mean, I think it applies to anything you do in life that's free, that's new. It's scary the first time around. I remember when I started my event business, the first time I took on a client, it was terrifying. It's like, oh my God, can I do this? And the next time it was when I rented a shop, which was my office space. I remember sitting at my desk, literally paralyzed with fear, going, what have I taken on? It's such a burden. And then when I employed my first employee, again, it was like, oh my God, I'm responsible for somebody's living, for somebody's wage. And so with each challenge, it gets easier, but when I started my eBay store, even after 20 years in business, it was still really scary the first time I listed an item and then I sold it and went, oh my God, someone's actually, bought something from my store and I've got to pack it up. And, and I did make some mistakes in the beginning, but you've got to, people are understanding. And I think that if you're just honest about, what you're doing and you're genuine and you're authentic, people will relate to you. And just, sometimes the challenging things in life are the places where you grow the most. So just feel the fear and do it anyway.
So I would say probably the scariest thing is trying to be a perfectionist, because your video will never be perfect. And you will waste so much time on trying to perfect your video that you won't end up putting it out. So it is a big downfall for a lot of creators or a lot of people that want to start, because they're afraid that it has to be perfect and stuff like this. It's never going to be perfect. You'll have fears about what you think people are going to say. Who cares? Who cares what people say? Like, honestly, if people are going to talk crap, people do that, then you know that you're doing something well. When you get your first hater, wear that as a badge of honor. Don't get depressed and lock yourself in your bedroom. That is a badge of honor. That means that someone literally took minutes out of their day to sit down and write something hurtful or something negative about you or about your video, stuff like that. So just think how crappy or how shitty their life is right now that they have to sit there and say something horrible to try to put you down. Remember that, because it's going to come, and then you may get a ton of them. And, some videos I've gotten a ton of them, it's part of the game. But I will say, like, you're going to be nervous. And when you go back to watch your video, say if you do this for a couple of years, my first video, I always talk about it. If you go back and watch it now, I had my stepson trying to film. I'm on camera. Had no idea what I'm going to do. And I looked like I was the lighting's so bad that I looked like I was in a dive bar. And really, it was in my living room. You thought my cameraman had Parkinson's because my 12-year-old kid didn't know how to control a camera, so it's shaking. But who cares? Like, no one's going to go back and watch the video. I will tell you this. When you first start out, probably not a lot of people are going to watch your video. That's okay. Just try to make each video better and better. And that fear will go away. Trust me. I promise you on that.
I think you could actually go back and look at Joe Rogan's first videos and see how very bad they were and where it's come to. So there's hope for everybody.
Absolutely. Like, everyone has to start somewhere. You start on YouTube with 0 subs, 0 followers, and you grow that over time. And then you just get better. If you can continue to make your videos 1% better, if it's title, lighting, sound, video quality, you are well on your way.
Yeah, and I think, like, anytime you do anything new, like, I agree with Jeannie, like, whether it's YouTube or, like, posting on eBay, like, anything new, any change, too. Like, any change is scary. My first video was upright. It was not in landscape mode. I left it there. It's still there if you would like to go watch it from 2019. Go back. I honestly, Sarah, go watch some of the people you like. Go back by date oldest and watch their first videos.
Oh, yeah.
And see what they looked like 5 years ago. The more you do anything, the better you get at it. And I still will get nervous sometimes speaking. Not a lot. Definitely not like it used to be. And like, I remember this podcast when, like, I was always the smallest channel on here, and like all my guests were like way bigger than me. So I would always be nervous because I was the little guy, and now most of the time I'm the one that's got the most. And it's funny because just remember, like, everybody is human. Like, we all started somewhere. And we're all people. Like, I think a lot of people get intimidated, but everybody that I've met is like down to earth, normal people. They, are just like they are in their videos, like, yeah, Mark's just saying, just be yourself. I know a lot of people with me get surprised. And I say this a lot. I cuss like a sailor when I'm not on camera. And people are like, because I don't do it on here, but just do it, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get. And I like Nick Nimmin and Dee Nimmin were two of my favorite people for learning YouTube about like setting my channel up, like my playlist, how to get everything kind of tweaked in. And then for me, when the hate comments started coming, which normally don't come at the beginning, they don't come when you're new. They come once you're making it. Once I started getting those, and it would bother me a lot. I mean, like ruin my whole day. Like I would be mad. And I started watching motivational speakers, started watching Mel Robbins. I like Tony Robbins. I know he yells. I'm kind of loud sometimes too. Steve Harvey is an amazing motivational speaker. So is Oprah. And I started watching them and listening to them. And like Rod was saying, like, and one of my favorite quotes is, other people's opinion of you is none of your business. It doesn't matter what they think.
Yep.
That is not true, Mark. You won't see him because I block him. I used to not say anything back. Now I do. Most of the time I don't block. Some people I end up, I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do it. But it sometimes, like, I needed to watch those motivational speakers because they were getting to me. And you don't, that's just same thing with negative feedback, same thing with returns. Like, it's part of business. Don't let it suck your energy and your time. And it's really easy to say, and it's really hard to do. It took me years to get to the point where they didn't bug me. You know, it's hard. Yeah, so me, I pin the mean comments, and Marcia said your followers will take care of you. I pin them to the top. I don't have to say nothing. I'll let everybody else say it.
Someone put this comment, and I want to talk about this too, because this relates to what you're referring to. Is about, you know, try my best to make sure all my listings are accurate. Sometimes I spend too much time in that process. This goes for eBay, for your listings, for especially for YouTube as well. There's something called the perfectionist rule, like the 90-10, or real similar to like the 80-20 rule, that you can spend, you know, you can do something at 80% and knock it out super fast. But those last 10 to 20% is considered a time suck. So trying to make something perfect. So it might take you, let's just say it takes you an hour to make a video and it'll be at 80%. But then the fine touches that you do that don't matter, that all the things that you want to do to try to make it perfect might take you an extra hour to do that. So you're wasting all this time on something that doesn't matter. Same thing with your listings as well. And I remember, like, my wife first started eBay listing. She went in there, she would write like a 2-paragraph description, was going through it, and I was like trying to explain to him, like, listen, you don't have to do it. No one reads the description. Like, she's like, well, I do. I'm like, I get that, but like, you're gonna waste so much more time on this. We can just copy the script, copy the title, and put it in there, because people really don't do that. But so you have to know in your business.
They don't read, they don't look.
Correct.
No.
So, but sometimes you need to reevaluate your business and think of the 80-20 rule, the 90-10 rule. Like, you could spend 80 to 90% of your effort doing something super fast, but the last 10 to 20% is what they call a time suck. Remember that. You don't have to make it perfect. It could be just being good to move on to be more effective, more efficient.
I think also in terms of the haters, though, I think it's worthwhile knowing that our brains are actually wired to look out for threats. So we pay a lot more attention to the negative stuff than we do to the positive. And so if you
I could have 100 positive comments, and then I have one that's crappy, and that's the one I'm like,
exactly.
I don't anymore. I'm pretty good about it now. I'm pretty good about it. Like, I don't post them like Kevin. I love how Kevin posts them. It's like roasting them. I don't get that many, though. I really, like, honestly, I might get 2 a month. I really don't get them. I'm really lucky in that aspect. I don't get them on
YouTube. I get them on Facebook. That's where I get majority of them.
I don't pay attention. I probably do too, and I don't read my comments on Facebook. Sorry, guys. I don't even look at them because I copy, like, all my videos onto my Facebook. Instagram, I don't either. I was really shocked when I started, like, my Operation Healthy Cat. I was really expecting to get, like, negativity and hate because I showed me working out, and I didn't get it. I'm sure, same thing though. I don't have many followers. I'm sure as it got up there, they would come. I'm going to try and start posting again, but I think now I'm, like, mentally prepared for like whatever now
Well,
I am.
One of my favorite quotes by Gary Vee, he always says is like, if you listen to the cheers, you're going to hear the boos. So when people comment on there and you taking everything in, you think you're in a high horse because everyone's complimenting you what you do. Then when someone puts something negative on there, you're going to take that to heart. So that goes both ways. Like, don't always read everything. Like, if you're getting all these good comments, like, that's good, but don't read into it too much, because when you get those negatives, it's going to hit you hard. So take the good with the bad, guys. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Kathleen said, thanks for keeping me company while I pack orders. You are more than welcome. I think I haven't done this one in a while. Here you go. I asked Brooke what Dalton was doing. I'm like, he never came back out. She said he was having a concert, so he was in the house singing. She said, but he just went quiet, so he fell asleep. He didn't. I guess he's so mad he didn't get to pack, so he's mad at me if I don't do a live sale and let him pack. Miss Lisa wants to know, if you ship priority, do you ship in 1 to 2 days? She's having an issue with a purchase that it's going to be at least 7 days to get to her, but her only choice was to pay for priority.
My handling time is 2 days on eBay. So if it's eBay, I'm going to ship it within 2 days.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's not pass.
Yeah, so it comes down to their handling time, I would say. If they buy, so sometimes people, because they work, do other stuff, they may not ship for 3 to 5 business days, depending on maybe they ship one day a week. So even though that they're going to ship priority mail, the reason why they're probably shipping priority, because they have a longer handling time where they want to get the item there as fast as possible, but it may take them a while to do that. So unfortunately, that is an option. When I go on vacation, I put, if I go on like an extended vacation for 3 or 5 days, like, I don't put myself in vacation mode. I just extend my handling time. So even though you purchase an item for me, and I'm going to ship that comic book in that priority mailbox I told you guys about earlier, it's going to come 5, 6, 7 days later, unfortunately. So there's nothing you can really do that. As long as they have it in the description when you purchase it, nothing you can do.
Yeah, I always look at the expected arrival date, because they, like, the handling time's not outwardly stated, but when you're expected to receive it is. We do next day shipping on everything. We just don't ship on Saturdays. Whether it's priority or ground, it doesn't matter. Every purchase gets shipped the next business day. And that will make me pay a little bit more. I will pay $2, $3, $5 more for something if it's going to get to me 2 to 3 days earlier, if it's something I need. So I would message them. But I would look at when they shipped it, would be my big thing. And I would ask them, like, cause I had a seller one time, I asked them and they stated our handling time's 5 days and it was in the listing, and I did not read, go figure, cause nobody reads. And I was like, oh, okay, sorry. Like, I totally backed up. I was like, oh, my bad. I didn't read. Like, okay, I'll wait for it to get here. So I would look at the tracking, and obviously, if they shipped it like in a day or two, they can't control priority as a seller, that. But if they shipped later, then I might whack them. Yeah, the handling time's not there.
Like knock them off
to arrive is what, huh?
You just say you're gonna whack them, like you're like knock them off, like you're in the mob, like what?
Yeah,
is that what you just said? You're gonna whack them?
Yeah, probably. I say that a lot. I'm like, don't make me whack you. I say that, but I don't mean like whack them, like kill them. I just
smack them.
Smack them. Yeah.
Knock some sense into them. I got it.
All right, last question, and this is crazy. We we did not get to even questions that were put in after the show started tonight. Just like a few of them. Donna said, what do you put in for dimensions when shipping a poly bag? She normally measures like anything else. I saw another seller and she uses the size of the poly 12 by 12 by 1. So what do you put for your dimensions?
That's usually what I do. I'll just put in the size of the poly bag. Usually I use 10 by 13, so I'll just put 10 by 13 by 3.
Yeah, that's what I do as well. Yeah.
I just make up numbers like 10 by,
Yeah.
because I know it's going to poly bag like 10 by 8 by 2. Like it doesn't really matter at that point because
No, it
most of
doesn't
the time I'm
change
going
the price.
yeah, I'm going to fold the poly bag up anyway. It's going to be smaller than what it's normally going to be if I'm shipping a shirt or something. So I just make up numbers.
90% of my things say 8 by 8 by 8, and I don't change it if it's in a poly bag or a box. If I know it's not oversized, I just leave it. But technically, the 12 by 12 by 1 is right because it's supposed to be the size of the poly bag before you put stuff in it, is my understanding. So the 12 by 12 by 1 would be right. But I put 8 by 8 by 8 on literally everything. And I only change it if it's oversized. All right. I'm going to let these lovely ladies tell you guys goodbye and tell you if they have videos coming out or any sales coming up. And then Rod and myself will tell you as well. So here is Miss Amanda.
Okay, so again, I go by Tuition Ain't Cheap. I will have a YouTube video out. I just put one out today. I'll have another one out Thursday, and then my podcast will be out on Friday.
Perfect. Here is Miss Jeannie.
Thanks for having me, Kat and Rod. Kat, also, I've been following you on YouTube for years and basically have learned everything from you. So thank you so much. I go by Matchbox Mabel on eBay, where I sell everything. On Etsy and Depop, I go by Ikigai Vintage Shop. And on Instagram, I'm Ikigai Vintage. So if you do want to follow me on any of those channels, feel free. I don't have a YouTube. Maybe one day. I don't know after hearing tonight whether I actually want to do YouTube. Let's have a think about that one. But yeah, thank you very much.
I think people would love your accent. Like, I love Tiffany Thrifting Vegas. Like, yeah, I could just listen to her talk. Yeah, you should do it. And you have like the perfect background. Like,
maybe
you're like ready to go.
My daughter started a channel early last year, and then she fell pregnant, so she sort of suspended it for a while. But we often talk about doing something together, so maybe.
Rod?
I dropped a new video on my Picking and Punching Cards channel yesterday. I'll have a new picking video tomorrow out on Picking and Punching. My sports card podcast, No Bangers, drops tomorrow at 11 a.m. Oh, what else I got going on here? I'm trying to think. Oh, we're doing a baseball card break. If you guys are baseball fans, tomorrow night I'll be live on District. Top Series 2 baseball drops tomorrow is release day. And you guys can go to the website right now and bid on your favorite teams. We'll do a box break. We're actually do multiple box breaks tomorrow night. If you guys don't know what that is, we open up like 3 or 4 boxes, and then you pick your favorite team, and you get all the cards of that team, all the autographs, all the inserts, everything. So we'll be doing that tomorrow night. And I think that's it. I don't know. There's probably more stuff I'm forgetting, but there's a lot. So
I want to say next week we will have my good friend Leroy Blood Sweat Cell and Brad Black Sheep on, so that will be a fun one next week, so make sure you tune in for that. I will have a video out on both channels tomorrow. I found really good stuff actually at my little local store, my hospice thrift store here in town, and then I'm doing the what sold on the other platforms, and like I said, I'm going to talk about the fees and like what I post where and why, and I'll show you exactly what sold on different platforms. Sarah Jeannie's daughter is who fell pregnant. She's like, who's pregnant? Listen, you guys will probably get a kick from this. So like, I'm 46, right? I'm done baby making, and I thought that at 42, but I have a 6-year-old. But I really am done baby making now. And we went to the watermelon parade on Saturday, and it was so hot, I was puking. And my friend was with my boyfriend while I was puking in the bushes and asked him if I was pregnant. And he's like, I hope not. I'm like, oh my God. No more babies. I have a grandbaby, maybe more grandbabies, but no more cat babies. Cat is done making. Brooke threatened me. She's like, Mom, do not even. So no more babies. But yeah, so I'll have videos out on both channels. I'm excited. I told Rod, I got the new GoPro. I got the GoPro 13. Tomorrow's video will be the last video with my old GoPro. And then the next one will be with the new GoPro. So I'm excited to see how that does. And I got wired internet. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've been able to upload high def videos on both channels now. I could never do that before because it would take like 3 hours, and now it's done in like 5 minutes. It's amazing to come into the modern world out here in the middle of nowhere.
Welcome to the first world, Kat. Congrats.
I know.
Congrats.
Right?
Welcome to 2025.
Amazing.
Even we have that in Australia. You're well behind.
They finally put it through our electric lines. That's how we got it. It's through the electric lines, through the sky, is how we finally got it out here. And then tomorrow, I went a little crazy buying, and Shannon is back from vacation. So she is doing a costume jewelry with really nice costume jewelry with $3 starts tomorrow. I think she's even starting the sets at that. She spent all day today putting together sets that would match. So she'll be live at 10:45 tomorrow morning. I think she's going to do Friday too. I think she might have scheduled Thursday and forgot we had the house clean out. So hopefully she didn't. And yeah, we're going to start selling tons of amazing collectibles that are decently valued. I got a bunch of fairy stuff, clown stuff, religious stuff, and I got some glass too. We're going to be doing some glass too. So definitely keep an eye out on Whatnot. And hopefully I'll be back on Knickknacks too. And I have no outro, so we're going to have to like wave you guys out. And we appreciate you, and we will see you next week. Amanda, Jeannie, thank you. Rod,
Yes, thank you.
We'll see you guys, everybody in the audience, thank you guys too. We'll see you next